All right. Hey, everyone. I wanted to talk about colleges today. Um, just specifically if it's actually worth it to go to college. I know a lot of people are torn on this, but I do want to clarify that I'm talking about actual, like, bigger universities and not, like, community colleges because I go to a bigger, like, actual public state college, and a lot of community colleges you can commute from. It's a lot different, and they're also a lot cheaper. So the main thing with bigger universities is the tuition, the time. A lot of people just say go right to work. You don't need a degree for a six-figure job, and I think this is a very good point. And there's really no definitive answer of whether you should go to college. It really all depends on you. So basically, what I want to attack this by is by first deciding, so you do go to college, what are the pros and what are the cons, and do the pros outweigh the cons? So if you are someone who isn't for school, and what I mean by that is you never did well in high school, you never turned in work, your grades weren't the best. um, the reason I wouldn't recommend college is for two main things, is because when you're in college, you're treated like an adult, which is a lot different than high school. Most classes don't take attendance. You can leave whenever. It's a completely different environment. It's like adults teaching adults. So that means two main things. You have to stop procrastinating because you're going to have work piling up. You're going to have homework pretty much in most classes, other than maybe some gen eds. And it's going to take multiple hours. It's going to be a big jump from high school. And and then you have the side of where you have to actually wake up for class, because there's no real incentive for attendance other than the fact that you're getting whatever you're getting out of the lecture. You're not getting recorded when you show up to class. It's completely your decision, and that's something that you have to choose. If you don't show up to class because you stayed up last night drinking every time, it's you're going to just probably fail your classes, and you're not going to get your money's worth. You're paying for these classes. So if what I'm trying to say is that if you can't efficiently work with high school, then paying for 4 more years of school may not be the right choice. I mean, if you were to try this, I would suggest maybe 2 years at a community college to get your feet wet. But that's just the first thing I want to get out of the way for people who absolutely hated high school. The next thing I will say is depending on where you are financially. So a lot of people have a lot of siblings. A lot of people aren't fortunate financially. If this is you, college isn't necessarily a bad idea, because you can still make it out of student debt once you get a nice job. You must know what you want to do if this is you, though, because if you go into this college thing and then you drop out, so you have the people who drop out because they couldn't handle the workload, and then you have the people who drop out because they didn't know what they want to do. If this is you and you're already in a hole financially, when you go to college, chances are you won't be able to find a job because you're spending so much time doing schoolwork. It's hard to find a nice job up at where you go to school. So you're going to fall into a bigger hole than you already were in. And this is a problem because you're not even getting anywhere because you don't know where you're studying, and then the student debt piles up, and then you're in an even bigger hole. And then you have people saying that college is a scam because of this, because it just puts you into big financial debt. You didn't get a job after college because you don't know what you want to do. It's plain and simple. So those are the two major reasons why you need to just think about those two before even considering it. So say you actually get into a university, you're a good student, you can afford college, yada yada. I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience so far, and if it's been a good experience, if it's been a bad experience. So like I've said before, I've been at Penn State for roughly 2 semesters, so almost a year. The first thing I want to talk about is the living conditions. In my opinion, I'm in a regular freshman dorm currently. I've already signed a lease for a 4-person apartment next year, only because no one wants to live in a dorm all 4 years of college. Just doesn't make any sense. But there's a requirement that you live on a dorm your first year. Now, is this a bad thing? Not necessarily. I would never consider living in a dorm to be a deal breaker for me, whether you want to go to college or not. That's just me personally. I would much rather live at home, but I have room for everything I could possibly want in here. I obviously have my PC with me. I brought my snowboard up a few months back. I have room for all my clothes, everything I could possibly want. There's room for in here. The bathrooms are cleaned daily. We have communal bathrooms, so communal showers, communal toilets, everything about that. We do have toilets downstairs with doors, so you can, like, lockable doors instead of stalls. Our laundry room works completely fine, had no issues, everything about it. We have nice short walks to basically all of our classes. You have a short walk to the gym, food commons, pretty much anything you can think of. Downtown is even close. And yeah, there's nothing about living in a dorm that would make you want to drop out. But the next thing moving on from that would be like the actual social life of it. So what I've learned from college is that there's basically a club for literally anything. You can find connections through anyone, and it's really not difficult at all. There's frats, sororities, there's intramurals for any sport, there's club sports, there's school sports, there's recreational clubs, there's academic clubs, literally anything. So depending on what you're interested in, there's really the college experience. You will make new friends regardless, not just from your area, from literally all over the world. So that's probably the best thing you can get from college, is just meeting new people. I'm fortunate enough, Penn State has a great alumni program, so it's very easy to make connections here, which is another big thing for if you're people who are searching for jobs. Connections are crazy in college. If you're just coming out of high school and you're looking for a contracting job, it's not the same experience as when you go to college, which is another plus. So yeah, I just think, I mean, the drawback of this social life is that you don't have the same social life you had at home. You're living away from your family. I come home maybe 1 to 2 times every 1 to 2 months. It's usually for like a long weekend, and then we have winter break between semesters, summer break, and then we have spring and fall break, which is like a week. This definitely took adjusting, but it's like, once again, it's not something that you can't get used to, and the main reason I defend this is because at the age of college, you're starting to mature into an adult, right? So you need to learn to live alone. And like I said earlier, like waking up for stuff, this kind of things are what make you into an adult. And that's important. That's another good thing about growing up, is coming to college and realizing that you have responsibilities as an adult and that your parents can't tell you to do everything. So I just think that there is good that comes from living away from home. And then finally, like I said, the education is a lot different from high school. You have to like really want to go get it, and it's not something that's just going to be brought into you. You have to show up for class. You can't procrastinate. You just have to do everything at the pace of your professors, which usually are lenient too, because once again, they treat you like adults. They will give you extra time if you need it. It's not a big deal, but you just have to put the effort in and you'll make it. So overall, I would give the experience that I have had so far at college, like, in the good ranges. Like, it would be like an 8, 9 out of 10. So the main point I'm trying to get at is, if you do your work, you have the money, you enjoy school, just go to college. There's nothing wrong with just trying for a degree. If you really know what you want to do, you enjoy what you want to do, go get that degree. It will help you a lot finding a job, and there's nothing wrong with it. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I wanted to say. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.